Hey guys, I'm here. Today we're going to be checking out our latest movie poll winner, and it is Call Me By Your Name from 2017. I've heard this title sounds familiar, but I don't think I've seen a single thing for this film. Not a poster, not a trailer, nothing. So I have zero expectations going into this. All I know, and that was just purely from looking up what movie it was that I was pulling up, you know, and seeing where I could find it and all that. It's on Netflix, thankfully, so that's easy. But I found out it stars Timothée Chalamet and Armie the Cannibal Hammer. So excuse me if I make any cannibal jokes throughout this, but who knows, it may or may not happen. Hey guys, Editing Omni here. So while recording this, it completely skipped my brain through most of the video that this was going to be coming out during Pride Month. And having watched the movie, I was like, oh, this is a really interesting coincidence this was going to be coming out. That's kind of one of the things that I say later on in the video. Because there's a little bit of a confusion that clicked into my mind that caused this to happen to begin with in the way that I title my movie reaction polls. I always title them as the month that they are being issued, not the actual month that the content is actually going to release. So I'm like, this is the May movie poll. So in my brain, this is the May movie reaction, but I release it the first of the following month. And in my brain, when this won the poll, I was like, huh, that's an odd little coincidence, but I feel like maybe the community was a lot smarter than my dumbass. So I've now since changed that. So if it's June, the poll says July movie reaction. So with that in mind, you probably won't hear a little bit of a reference to any of that. So in that stead, I wanted to add this into this video now that this has clicked into my head and wish everybody a happy, beautiful Pride Month. I love you guys. I know this is coming in towards the tail end of the month, but I hope that if you've been around this channel any amount of time, you know that this is a safe and open place for all of you guys, no matter your race, your creed, your whatever. The only thing that I care about is that you're kind to one another, you pass it on, and you treat each other like the human beings that you are. Love you guys. I just want to put that out there. And once again, happy Pride. But with that said, we're going to go ahead and hop into this. Guys, if you want to put forth your own suggestion to potentially be an upcoming movie poll reaction, you can always do that by going over and becoming a Patreon or becoming a member on the channel, which will get you access as well. We have a post every month where you guys drop your suggestions, and then in the middle of the month, we accumulate them all together and put them into a poll, and the top winner, that's the one that I do a reaction for. We do one of those every month. You know, it is in watch-along format at first, and then it'll be on YouTube later for you guys, for everybody to consume. You also get the same thing for all the other shows and movies that we cover here on the channel. You also get monthly Q&As, behind-the-scenes footage. I try to make it worth your while, so sure go to support the channel. Guys, if you enjoyed this reaction, really appreciate it if you leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe if you're not already. And with that all said, let's go ahead and hop into the movie. And somebody's going ham on this piano, dude. Somewhere in northern Italy. You know, I don't know if I've seen an Armie Hammer movie before, or a movie with him in it, now that I'm thinking about it. I also had the realization today that I'm only 2 years younger than him, and I thought there was a much larger gap. Yeah, I've seen zero things he's been in.
We're being called for dinner.
Where is Timothée originally from? Because I was about to say, for somebody, I guess, who's supposedly born here in Italy, he's got zero accent when he flips into his English. That's one way to do it.
We're being called for dinner.
Smooth.
Will you make an excuse for me to your mom? No.
I'm not serving anything I'm into. You know what I think it is I think I always got Armie Hammer, like the names and the faces. It was like that old Matt Damon, Brad Pitt, Ben Affleck cycle when I was growing up. I never knew who was who. I think I always got him and John Hamm mixed up. Only here recently did I finally nail down who John Hamm is, like, face to name. And I have seen him in stuff, though. Plenty of stuff. But he just, it was one of those things. Armie, John Hamm, Armie Hammer. Makes a little more sense than the whole Brad Pitt thing. God damn, man. This would be a lovely ride.
You were Jewish.
Well, we are Jewish, but also American, Italian, French, somewhat atypical combination.
Okay, guess that makes sense.
Foot in this town.
I'm from a small town in New England. I know what it's like to be the odd Jew out. So what do you do around here?
Okay. That makes sense then.
Just watch. This is how we'll say goodbye to us when the time comes. With his later.
Meanwhile, we'll have to put up with him for 6 long weeks.
I mean, I say later all the time. Am I arrogant and rude when I do that? Nah. I say that more than I say goodbye or anything of the sort.
Let's go.
Do we have to go right now?
I'll go get changed.
Okay.
Meet you downstairs.
Like, I don't want to stand up and pitch a tent right now.
See you downstairs.
Dude, this guy's like unfazed by everything. There's a little bit of an uncomfortability with his comfortableness. Dude, I've never been like this good at piano, but I do miss playing piano. I've not had access to one in 15 years-ish.
I can't believe you changed it again.
Oh, I changed it a little bit.
Yeah, why?
I just played it the way Busoni would have played it if...
You fucking dick.
Elio. You sleeping?
He was. The fuck? How old is Oliver meant to be? 'Cause no, he at least according to like the description, I think he's 17. He's 17, Elio. Well, she wants him, but yeah, I think there's something about like how easily he can just weave in to these places, people, and all that, and just like meld right in while he's just kind of like on the side. I didn't expect this. Oh no, it's almost like he's being challenged in a way.
Tu vas avec moi parce que t'es fâché contre Chiara?
Or he's perceiving it as a challenge now. Or he's like either a motivating factor or a semi-aspirational factor.
We almost had sex last night. Marcy and me.
Breakfast conversation right there.
All I had to do was find the courage to reach out and touch. She would have said yes.
Well, try again later.
Try what later?
Nothing, Mom. Man, so much lost to the sea too, man.
We'd like to go for a swim before we head back.
That water is gorgeous, man. And by this point, I would not go near it. I would entertain going into water that blue and that clear. Maybe. I don't know. Me and the ocean don't get along.
Lascia aperta. Grazie.
fly, man. What the fuck? It's not where I thought that was going.
So humbled and speechless that he's totally unable to bring up the subject of his love. So one day he asks the princess, point blank, is it better to speak or to die?
Sounds like that might be very representative of a current situation.
Yeah, about the knight that doesn't know whether to speak or die.
Right.
So does he or doesn't he?
Better to speak, she said. But she's on her guard. She senses a trap somewhere. He fudges.
He figures. He's French. Why don't we go together?
Right now?
Yeah. Right now. It is, of course, unless you have more important business going on.
What the? Dude, he quite literally just takes everything in stride.
Is there anything you don't know?
I know nothing, Oliver.
Well, you seem to know more than anybody else around here.
Well, if you only knew how little I know about the things that matter.
He can ride his bike with no handlebars.
I like the way you say things. I don't know why you're always putting yourself down, though.
So you won't, I guess?
You really that afraid of what I think?
That's an interesting strategy. And I think that's like an origin of my self-deprecation a little bit. You know, hey, if I say it, you don't have to. Or rather, I don't have to hear it from you. God damn, man. Down bad.
Better now?
What a dick.
I know myself, okay? And we've been good. We haven't done anything to be ashamed of, and that's a good thing. I want to be good. Okay? Just don't.
Later.
Cosa? Di qualcosa, un'impressione.
Un'impressione ce l'hai?
Lui è americano, amore, è americano.
Americano non vuol dire stupido comunque.
Amore, è americano.
I like that. Just because he's American doesn't mean he's stupid.
Sono sempre stata molto stronza, specialmente con i politici di un certo tipo.
Oh.
Ma perché devi interpretare le parole?
Io allora faccio la pazza, guarda, preferisco fare la pazza. Cosa succede? Samuel.
Oh.
Perché di mia alba dentro il frigo.
15 anni, non è mai successo.
Vi state abituando a tutto, davvero.
I shot it all the way. Yeah, I've never had a nosebleed like that.
Ah, what are you gonna do that? My Bubby used to do this for us when we were sick. Trust me, it helps.
Is he popping his toes? What is he doing?
He used to? Yeah.
I know he's rubbing his feet and like giving it like a weird little foot massage, but like, should it hurt? And I can pop my toes just fine. Yeah, that is what he's doing. Shouldn't hurt. Or at least, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it does for other people, isn't it? I had to. Man, so much water time. It's making me jealous. He's wearing his star now.
Tout le monde aime l'hiver.
Je crois qu'il t'aime bien aussi. Plus que toi.
C'est ton impression?
No. Is he trying to like Snow White it right now? I'm not sure what he's doing. Did you say traitor?
Tu lis vraiment autant que ça? Enfin, je veux dire, moi aussi j'aime beaucoup lire, mais enfin, je le dis à personne.
Pourquoi tu dis à personne?
Je sais pas. Je pense que
Her hair has so much volume to it, man.
qui ils sont vraiment.
Tu caches qui tu es vraiment?
Non, pas avec toi.
Avec moi? C'est bien pour toi?
Stop interrogating her in the middle.
Oh putain, je suis désolé. Ah, je suis désolé. Je suis désolé.
What is happening?
Fâché avec moi? Pourquoi tu rigoles comme ça? Pourquoi tu rigoles?
I don't know what just happened.
Ah putain, ça fait trop du bien.
I'm assuming he finished. But I don't know why we were having some interrogation. Why she was like, she seemed more like she was in pain more than anything. I don't know.
Grow up. I'll see you at midnight.
He's like,
Muscles are
fuck.
firm. Look at his stomach, for example.
It's not midnight yet.
Hence their ageless ambiguity. As if they're daring you to desire them.
Metaphorical, ain't it?
Don't forget, Isaac and Munir are coming for dinner.
Also known as Sonny and Cher.
Okay.
I got you, babe. I'm a Sonny and Cher fan, man.
Mafalda.
Jeez, that's startled me. Keeps checking his watch. You got so much time till midnight, man, I would assume. Are they gonna be in here till midnight, and is he gonna miss his rendezvous? Gosh, he's such a horn dog. I mean, he's a teenager, man, so it makes sense. Well, what was that? Busting out some moves.
Papa, it'll look like a put-up job. No misbehaving tonight. No laughing. When I tell you to play, you'll play. You're too old not to accept people for who they are. What's wrong with them? The only person that reflects badly on is you. Is it because they're gay or because they're ridiculous? Munir's age, you'll be a very wise man indeed. And a credit to me. Now, just get into this. You...
What was that conversation? To watch again.
I'm glad you came.
Where's he been, by the way?
Can I kiss you? Yes, please.
Oliver confounds me, dude. Also, again, I don't know how old he's meant to be, so I don't know if I'm supposed to be rooting for this or not. I mean, in the film, they're definitely playing it that way. That reaction was so good. I wonder if that was improv or part of the script. That seemed like a genuine freak out.
What are you doing?
I was thinking the same thing. I think we're past footsie at the moment. Dude, he woke something up in Elio, man. Ever since he showed up, he's been on full-on, what's the word I'm looking forward here? Like, instigator mode. Maybe that doesn't feel like the right move or word. I don't know. I can't think of the right thing I'm trying to think of. He's unlocked this animal side of himself a little bit. His desire to prove himself, this desire to stand out, and definitely fucking got his Ghibli's a going.
Call me by your name and I'll call you by mine.
What's the name of the movie? I don't understand that, but it's kind of funny.
Did we make noise?
Oh my lord.
You wore that shirt the first day you were here.
Hold on, was that sweat or was that? Because I was thinking that was the other thing. Besides healing up, at least. I don't know how much time has passed since that whole thing, but mostly gone.
Let's go swimming.
Something, I don't know. I know Oliver seemed to send something off about that. I felt something off about that little exchange there. Maybe some mixed feelings about having let that happen. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking too much into it, but that's the vibe I got from their body language. Man, I want to go swimming so bad right now.
Are you gonna hold what happened last night against me?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little confused at the moment. I do get like, I don't know, like when you finally do the deed with somebody, sometimes you're like, okay, what now? Especially if there isn't like a defined, what are we, you know?
Professor, I got your note. Thank you for reminding me. I'm gonna go into town and pick up those type pages today, so maybe this afternoon would be a good time to... Later.
Later. Something felt a little off about that whole little breakfast meeting thing there too. Parents hear something? Mom sense something? I mean, the mom already kind of knows a little some.
Sick of me yet?
No, I just wanted to be with you. I'll go.
Do you know how happy I am that we slept together?
Is there a better way to phrase that? I feel like.
I don't want you to regret anything. And I hate the thought that maybe I may have messed you up. I don't want either of us to pay for this.
No, you're not gonna be like any trouble.
That's not what I'm talking about.
There's a little bit of a courtesy weird like line, you know, he is being the guest of the house with their family and stuff like that, and then stooping the son. I'm sorry, I can't read a book with scoopy fingers, man. I'm very particular about my pages. Yeah, look how sticky his fingers are. I would not have touched that book. What the fuck? Is this American Pie? My God, he's making such a mess. And what is that? Is that a peach? What exactly is that? Please don't. Please. God damn it, Timothy! It's not even warm. He didn't even heat it up. You taste like fruit. The fuck?
What did you do? I wish everybody was as sick as you.
Please don't do that.
You want to see something
Please
sick?
don't do that.
You want to see something sick?
Please don't do this.
Oh.
Why are you doing this to me? What are you doing? Stop. You're fucking hurting me.
Then don't fight.
This is just Armie Hammer coming out right now. wrong? Oh, I mean, that is, I guess, embarrassing too. So he's just like, what is wrong with him? Nothing's wrong with him, man. Is that a cow? I don't remember them having cows or a cow being anywhere near here. That threw me off, man.
For Oliver. For Amelia.
Oh, I get it. The reversal of names.
T'as disparu pendant 3 jours.
Il y a beaucoup à faire.
It's not a great lie.
I'm not your girl.
Oh, damn.
And he'll fly home from the lotto.
Oh, but what about Elio? I mean, maybe it could be nice for the two of them to get away for a couple of days, no? What do you think? I know you've been our favorite student. You must come.
You sure you're not just saying that?
Oliver.
Oh, so he's here as a student? I thought this was like a... I don't know what I thought this was. I thought it was like more of a... I thought he was like here as like a professional thing, like colleagues in this field kind of deal. Like an abroad study in a way. Damn, these heartbreakers, man.
Tu viens manger à la maison ce soir? Hein? Viens avec Martien. Salut, ma chérie.
How much do the parents know right now, man? I feel like the mom's got to know a little something. This road, like, it's gorgeous, man, but driving on it makes me it would make me nervous. Riding a bike, totally fine, but like I know if they were on that bus, oh. Man, this place is beautiful, man.
Wait. No, it's this way, come on! You're missing it!
Dude, you couldn't do something like that here, man. Oh, whoa, what the fuck? That startled the shit out of me. Yeah, man, what was with these focus shots there? Because that time it was on his shoulder. They were purposefully in the last two scenes keeping their faces out of focus. Damn, they can't kiss out in the open here either, or at least aren't comfortable doing so. Damn, this sucks. The train's gonna pass, but then he'll be on the other side, being like, I'm staying.
Écoute, maman, tu peux venir me chercher, maman.
Oh. No. Yeah, Mama knew. I think that's a pain a lot of us, no matter what team you're batting for, you know all too well.
Je t'en veux pas du tout. Vraiment.
Does she know or understand now?
On reste amis.
Pour la vie.
Pour la vie.
No, it's breaking my heart a little bit, man. Damn. Oh, wait. Is that the shirt that he wore when he showed up? Is that why I thought, for whatever reason, I thought he went and bought him a shirt. I think I just pieced that together. I'm slow sometimes.
Missed you at dinner.
I like this framing, man.
Parce que c'était lui. Parce que c'était moi. He was good. You were both lucky to have found each other because you too are good.
No.
Nature has cunning ways of finding our weakest spot. Just remember I'm here.
No.
Feel something you obviously did. Look, you had a beautiful friendship, maybe more than a friendship.
Oh.
And I'll say one more thing.
What a good fucking dad, man.
I may have come close, but I never had what you two have. Something always held me back, or stood in the way.
Damn, not even with your wife? Your mom?
Does Mom know?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think she does.
I call bullshit on that. Or did he mean, like, does she know about him and his feelings towards Oliver? Or did he mean, does she know about his father's feeling about their relationship? About him saying he's never come close to having what they potentially had. And that makes me sad for them too, man. Oh, god damn, man. Even in the fucking snow, this place is angelic. Oh, dude, I'm fucking was crying my eyes out there through that.
See,
Oh, dude, I didn't even recognize him, man.
I'll get it. Pronto.
Hey.
I might be getting married next spring. Yeah.
You never said anything.
Off and on for 2 years.
That's wonderful news.
Oh, darling, when are you coming back?
I wish I was. Speaking of shoes, I'm calling to tell you guys I got engaged.
Wonderful! Mazel tov!
Congratulations, Oliver. Listen, we'll leave you. We'll let you speak to Elliot.
Happy Hanukkah!
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah!
Bye, sweetheart.
Yeah, I think they both know what that means.
About us.
I figured.
How?
Well, from the way your dad spoke to me, you're so lucky. My father would have carted me off to a correctional facility.
Elio.
I remember everything.
I would be so nervous to talk like this on old school phones, man, where anybody in the house could just pick up and hear your conversation. Mom, get off the phone! Dude used to post up in the kitchen just because, you know, that's where the main phone was for a long time before I got one. Before we were able to upgrade to actually having like one in your own, in multiple locations, or cordless phones or anything like that. I remember setting up with a stool some nights and just talking with friends and stuff on the phone for hours, man. Getting such a raw ass out of the whole situation. Dude, man, I don't know that I've seen him in anything other than Dune. I'll look it up. I'll look up stuff later. That fucking fly. I don't know if it's the same fly every time, but my God, I'm gonna pretend it like it is. Aww. Is this where we end? No way. Oh, fuck. Is this gonna be like the whole credits? It's turning it. I don't know if this is turning into restraint or this is just contentment. Or not contentment, but acceptance of the situation. I don't know. Damn, man. That is not at all how I expected that to turn in the end. I mean, I don't know what I expected. I did expect it to kind of be, I guess, like the way it was set up to be like this kind of like summer fling kind of thing. That kind of spiraled into more. Maybe my expectation is just something we see with like classic like romance types things where it just works out in the end. Like we'll do long distance, or you know, he didn't get on the train like I kind of predicted, or you know, he comes back to visit the next summer or whatever. But no, it's not that simple. It's not that easy. It's a little more, I don't know, a little more realistic, I guess, in some sort of way. Given this situation that they found themselves in, you know, him having his life kind of uprooted, not really feeling fit in somewhere. And then someone like Oliver came in and just like was able to kind of put on this chameleon act so well that he was just, he got to know everybody. He knew where all the hot spots were. He knew of places even Elio didn't know about in these places, in his own like community, in his own neighborhood and stuff like that. And kind of came in and I don't know, like brought this energy about him that in its own way, even beyond just his attractiveness to Oliver, ignited like this spark in him. He's like, well, this guy's coming in, everybody's starting to love him and stuff like that. And he like clearly was like, knows the appeal and draw that he kind of brings with him. And then it almost challenges him in a way to come out of his own shell in this kind of like territorial, almost kind of like animalistic desire to kind of front yourself as well. So he started kind of in a way metaphorically puffing his chest up and escalating things himself, because it was almost like I don't know, maybe he was like a burning ember. Like him and Marzia still had this like relationship, this fire, this dynamic between the two that definitely carried on, and in a way was also even more so fueled by his attraction and pent up desires towards Oliver that he wasn't exactly sure how to exercise in a proper way till, you know, they finally acted on that mutual attraction, and they both weren't sure where to go with that. And I'm not sure how exactly I feel about the power dynamic that was portrayed here. Then again, like I said, I had a very different perception of why Oliver was there in the beginning. So let me look up. I want to look up, how old is fucking Oliver supposed to be? 24. He's 7 years his senior. I don't know, man. Yeah, I think that's one of the things that made me a little bit the most uncomfortable about the whole situation, and a little conflicted on how I felt about it, because two things here. One, the power dynamic there, and then two, we just learned that for the past 2 years off and on, Oliver's been seeing somebody. He's been engaged. I don't know if he was engaged that whole time, but he had been off and on with somebody the entire time. I can't remember. Is this set in a specific time period? Yeah, it was 83. So, like, being out, especially in the States, for an American like Oliver, isn't something you can easily do. Like he said over the phone, he's lucky that he's got parents like he does, which were very open, of course, of the couple that came in from Paris that they entertained that night. And they were so sensitive. They were so, I don't know, like warm. And I liked seeing that Elio at least has this support structure like that, because I think to contrast that with the way Oliver and just that sort of thing is kind of treated in America in the larger sense is very indicative of why things played out the way they did. Like his father said, you know, they had something special in that moment. It was they weren't hiding. They weren't pretending to be something that they weren't. And you don't really find that a lot of the time. There is like that caveat to the whole situation. Like, even though I feel a little weird about the power dynamic and the the efficacies of getting entangled with his host's child, that lesson that teaches Elio in the end is a valuable one, and to have that reinforced by his father in a very healthy way, because he's right, a lot of people would take this kind of pain and retreat and try not to feel or run away from that feeling in order to not ever feel again. Like him talking about how, you know, after the first time you give your heart, every subsequent time after that, you're left with a little less and less of your heart that you were born with to give. And I guess that's in a way how he was talking about. He's like, I've never had what you had, as a kind of indicative kind of stance about his relationship, even though he's got a healthy relationship with his wife, with his family, with his children. At the end of the day, you know, it took a while to get there, and maybe all of him didn't make it along the way. It's a really kind of sad but true way to kind of look at how we deal with relationships. Because I honestly, I can relate to that. Because when I love strongly. At the end of the day, like if something doesn't work out or whatever, whoever I gave my heart to will always have a piece of that. Like no matter what really happened, when I give like a part of that away, I don't always get all of that back, you know, like, and I still always want the best for certain people. I still, even if we didn't end on the best of terms or anything like that, there's always going to be this like care, because at some point they did have that. I did trust them with that. And like at the end of the day, like you carry that around the best you can, you adapt and you try to learn and you do better the next time, and you learn to deal with it the next time. And I've never been one to be very good at not feeling. You know, that's never been something I've been great at. I might not be great at talking about my emotions. That's something I've been working on here in the last maybe like 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, something like that. I've been trying to get better at being more open about what I'm feeling, but it doesn't mean I'm not feeling stuff, you know? And that's, again, kind of the conditioning of these expectations that come with being a man in a certain society, a certain point in time or whatever. And even like today, it's still something a lot of people deal with, especially with this whole like Sigma alpha male bullshit that's floating around and everything, trying to get people to stay locked up, pent up, and, you know, trapped in this cycle rather than healing and accepting and showing empathy towards the world and yourself, which is one thing I did really appreciate about this film as well, is that was something that we learned throughout this, especially Elio. And watching how everybody around him slowly started to pick up exactly what it was. And I think his mom always knew. And his dad said the mom didn't know. I think the mom 100% knew. There were so many like conversations and parallels from the story that she was translating from that German book. Was it German? I think it was German. Whatever. The book that she was reading about the princess and the prince or whatever, which was, that story was reflective of Elio and Oliver's current situation, about whether or not to speak at all. And then even because he talks to the family, Oliver knew what they had been talking about, the book that they had been reading, so they had that conversation as well. It really shows just how everybody around him was kind of aware that he was closing himself off, or he wasn't truly letting himself be himself. And I think everybody kind of picked up on that. And then with the specific poem, now I don't know if he did this intentionally or if it was subconscious, when he bought that book of poems for Marcia, even after all the promiscuity that they went throughout this, that she still seemed to have come back from this whole situation, acknowledging why he was sad. Like through this book, was able to discern why this all happened, why he was acting the way he did, why he's acting the way he is now. And she's able to understand and not resent him for that, and even like extend her understanding and her friendship still, despite, you know, that kind of pseudo betrayal that was happening in this situation, and but then the heartbreak that comes with that following. So it really doesn't paint Oliver in the best of lights, and there's definitely an argument to be made, I guess, to justify, I don't know, his part in the relationship in a way, because in the end, I think this is a very important life lesson for Elio, but it's hard to get behind it from Oliver's standpoint because he knew he would never be able to stay. I just don't know how I feel about that aspect of it, because it does feel emotionally manipulative a little bit, that he had these feelings that he did, that he knew he wouldn't be able to fulfill it or stay or stick with it, but still wanted to give into it, and kind of dangled this carrot, both literally and metaphorically, in front of Elio this entire time. And it's just heartbreaking. But this is his first brush with it. In a way, that heartbreak is indicative of everybody's first love. You know, it's hard the first time you give your heart to somebody and it doesn't work out the way you'd hoped to. How do you move on from that, from all the emotions, all the what ifs, all the things you've built up in your head about where you were going to go, what you were going to do together or not together or whatever. You know, it's hard to push past that. Dude, I remember my first breakup like it was yesterday sometimes. You know, we were together for like 6 years, and whew, that was rough. That was a change that was hard. That was a transition that was hard to get over, and this was just a summer. But I think there's something a little more powerful about that, because you share a connection not a lot of people are going to openly understand, especially because you can't openly talk about it. You can't really openly display it either, especially at this point. I think there's something about that you can say that also makes it a little more strong, a little more raw, a little more primal and to the core of just pure emotion in a way, because it is restricted in this manner. So when you feel it, you got to give into it. You know, I think that's at the end of the day what that is what it's trying to get across, at least is what I'm kind of thinking at this point. Because sometimes I talk things through it and I piece a different path together than what I was getting throughout the movie. Which a lot of people aren't going to get that, because a lot of people don't stay around for these discussions after each one of them. But maybe that's the lesson at the end of the day, or at least a takeaway or perspective that I can use to kind of shift my glance at that. They went the route they did because they just generally can't. It was a beautiful movie. It was really beautifully shot. I like the pacing of it. I like the structure of it, even though I feel like there are some elements. I don't know if this was an adaptation of like a book or something. I still have this page of apricots up here. Let's see. Based on a 2000 novel of the same name. So I feel like maybe the book probably fleshed out some stuff, because I do feel like that some elements of the relationship was not very well expanded upon. And maybe that's a fault of the movie and the time constraints. But I did feel like elements of their relationship was a little scattered and disjointed at points. But the thing about this movie, what I really enjoy about it, is despite that, I think the way it was shot, the cinematography, Jesus, is that even a word? The choices made with the cinematography throughout, the music choices, the way we linger on certain shots, the way we pivot the camera in and out of focus on what we should or shouldn't be looking at. What this movie did really well, in my opinion, is that even if narratively or on paper, this felt a little disjointed, what this movie really did well is through the art of this visual medium, I thought it told the emotional journey really well. In these quiet moments, in these long extended sequences of just riding off into the distance, these lingering moments, the scenery, the framing of certain shots, the way we're looking at characters in certain angles, I think it told the story emotionally throughout. Whereas if you're just looking at it at the surface level, at just what is happening, like the actual on-screen dialogue or events, it might feel a little off. And I was kind of feeling that part of the way through the movie, until I started to kind of like, I guess, find the flow of the film is a good way to kind of like represent what I'm trying to at least say out of my head. But it was a beautiful movie, man. Like I said, this is the first Armie Hammer movie I've seen. He was surprisingly good in this movie, though. But he ain't getting no work anymore, though. That's for sure. At least not for a while. Oh yeah, that's another thing I wanted to look at. Have I seen anything else with Timothée Chalamet in it? Because I've seen Dune. I've seen this now. Oh, he was in Interstellar? Oh, okay. I totally didn't piece that together. He was young Tom. So I've seen him in Interstellar, I guess. Yeah, that's it. But this was a really beautifully acted movie, especially from Timothée Chalamet. Like, oh my God, like he was so good in this. I gotta say, like, too, like, and I've talked about this before. It definitely came up a lot during my Rocky reaction run through for different reasons. But that lack of like a support structure. Not that I've never had that with my mom and stuff, but like when my dad and her split, you know, he was never really one to kind of talk. He was very much your prototypical man, especially in America. Maybe a little more so because he kind of went away. Like he just kind of went away for the most part. And even my stepfather, like who's a little more open, was still very, very much in that same vein. So like I don't know. I don't feel like I ever had a male role model exactly in my life that gave me that kind of support in the way of like a Rocky or in the way of like his father here, where I felt like I could have a comfortable conversation about anything of the sort with him or either of them really. Or to be honest, anybody. Honestly, I don't know if I've really confided all that much, even in anybody in my family for that matter. I've pretty much wrestled with my own emotions myself. I think the most, like the people I've been in relationships with, like for them, I feel like for the most part, they've been the closest people to really ever really dive into who I am or get to see who I am. That's probably the most open I've ever been about certain things, and it's still not by much. My friends like definitely have a version of me. Even there's still some things I don't feel like I'm always comfortable opening up about. I still feel like there's a lot I keep to myself. I think that's part of just growing up the way I did. And we're just going into a whole little diatribe about me and my brain and how it's wired. But like that scene where his father was like, you know, you can talk to us, right? And he starts talking to him because he knows, especially at this point, he knows, and he wants to let him know that he knows that what he's going through. And he extends that arm. And it's just another one of those situations where for me, like when I was watching Rocky, when we see him being with Adonis, when we see him reaching out and like talking to his own son, and especially in, Rocky Balboa, when he gives that beautiful speech and stuff like that, I'm like, this is another one of these moments where I mildly lament not being able to have something or someone, reinforce this type of behavior, opening up, like having somebody that I could, like, even if they knew I wasn't ready to talk about it, could be there and understand what was going on, having an outlet like that or a support like that. Because this is definitely something I feel like anybody can relate to. Like, it doesn't matter your preference, your stance, or your attractions or whatever. This is a very universal feeling. I know some people might look at this movie and like put it in one box or another and write it off for one reason or another, and that's not the best way to go about life. If you can't relate through someone just because you don't share an ideal or a preference or something like that, I think there's something you need to do to explore yourself a little bit, because I think there's a little bit you can take away from anything, even if you don't necessarily share a point of view or whatever. There's always going to be something you can take away from it. Like, we share a universal experience just by being humans. Just because who we like might be different than somebody else likes, we still have the same wants, desires, needs, and drives. So, like, I don't know if I'm making sense at the moment. But, guys, I enjoyed this movie. I really did. It really started to get me there at the end. And it was like, oh, man, this is hitting some buttons at the moment, man. God damn. I also didn't expect the just how intimate it would get with some of the scenes throughout this movie, man. That definitely threw me off a little bit. That apricot scene. And then the way that came back. God damn. Guys, I enjoyed this film quite a bit, man. So far, again, we're keeping up our streak You guys have not voted on a movie that I have not enjoyed. Keep it up, and we'll see what we land on next month. But guys, I'm going to pass it off to you. Sound off the comments. Let me know your thoughts down below. We'll carry on the conversation after the video. If you enjoyed this reaction, please leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe if you're not already. Remember, if you want to see the full-length reaction, check it out over on Patreon, or if you got my channel, get you access as well. And speaking of before we go, I want to shout out our channel legends: Manny Sherritt, Ryan Karen, Philly Vane, York, Corey Scott, Margaret Grace, Melita, Robert Anguiano, Jeffrey Hale, M. Sephiroth, Jake Cantrell, Tiff, and Eric Official. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. That's it for this video, guys. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care, everybody.